Welcome back to iOS application development at SSFS. This is our last video for the WordCollage app. And in this last video, we're going to add two more buttons so that we can change our background to two different colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this label. Instead of change background, I'm going to make it black. Okay, and now I'm going to use Option Command L to get back to the object library. Button is already selected. I'm going to move a button over to the right side or the left side, and I'm going to make this white. I'm going to add one more button to the right side. I'm going to make it magenta. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some constraints to our new buttons so that they should appear in the right spot. I'm going to do Control drag, so I'm holding the Control key down while I drag. And I'm going to choose vertical spacing to bottom guide layout. And then I'm going to use the Align key, choose horizontally in container, and choose Use Current Canvas Value. I'm going to add that constraint. Okay, so that button looks okay. I'm going to do the same thing for magenta. I'm going to hold the Control key down and drag to the bottom of my view. Choose vertical spacing. Then I'm going to choose the Align. I'm going to choose horizontally in container and use the current canvas value. And then add that constraint. So now I've got two constraints in. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Assistant Editor, which is Option Command Enter. Now it shows, I'm going to go ahead and close the document outline to get a little more room. Before, what we did is we control-clicked on the button and chose the event. You can also directly click on the button, and by holding the Control key down, you can drag directly to the controller. By default, it makes an outlet, which we'll talk about later, but we wanted an action. And we want this to be change background to white. And I'm going to make the type UI button. It's always good in using Xcode is to make very descriptive method names. And again, notice I'm using camel case for my method names. You should make your method names as long as you can and as descriptive as you can so you know exactly what they do. One of the things Xcode is really good at is completion. So if you start typing it, it'll fill it in for you. So you won't have to type that in every time, but you should type it in once. Let's go ahead and connect it. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my magenta button. I'm going to hold the Control key down and drag, change it to an action, and make change background color to magenta. And again, I'm going to make, instead of any object, I'm going to use UI button and connect. And one of the things we should look at is the actual structure of one of these methods. So let's look at the one we just created. I'm going to put some space in here to make it a little more readable. This says that it's an IB action, which is a way to connect this method to its spot in our user interface. This is the method name, and this is the parameter. This is the variable name, and this is the type of the parameter. Unlike in Python, in Swift you have to put the type of the parameter that's in the parentheses. So the sender is the variable name, it's a type UI button. So let's go ahead and let's add some code to our two methods. For white, we can do view.backgroundColor equals UI color dot white color. And then for magenta, we'll do the same thing. View.backgroundColor equals UI color dot magenta color. Okay, I've got those two buttons. But notice that this one says change background, which is not really descriptive. So I'm actually going to do change background. I'm just going to change the name color to black. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this app now. It's running, build succeeded. Let's go ahead and change it to black. I'm going to tap it, and you notice, whoa, something bad happened. If your app crashes, this is what it looks like. You'll get this debug area over here. You'll get a message of what's going on in the background here. And so something happened when I changed that background color method. So I'm going to hit, because we knew it worked last time, I'll hit Command period to stop it. I'm going to click back on the file navigator, and let's kind of see what's going on. Let's go back to my main storyboard. Now I'm back with my view. Notice here this well here, it's hollow, it's not filled in. And when I move the cursor over it, it's not linked to black anymore. That's because, remember when I typed in the method name, it was change background? And so that method was linked to that button. When I changed the method name, it became unlinked. So I have to actually fix that. So if I want to do that, I can go to my black button here. I'm going to go to this button over here. This is the Connections Inspector. If I tap that, I have this View Controller Change Background Color. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And so now it's gone. So that I've deleted that old connection to just the Change Background method. And all I have to do is just hold the Control key down and just drag so it connects the button to that action. Now this is filled in again. When I move the mouse over it, it shows that this action is connected to this button. Now let's go ahead and hit Command R to run it. Let's make sure that the tapping the button worked. Now that works again. Back to white and magenta. So I've created 3 buttons, and I've created some basic code to change the background color. So again, the function of the WordCollage app that you made was just to get you introduced to navigating in Xcode, how to run an app, how to add an object like a label or a button, and how to stop an app. So you've got the basics of kind of playing with Xcode. In the next project, you will start to learn the basics of Swift, and we'll take a much deeper look at the Swift language.